Gather round, kids. Let me tell you about how you can get your ass kicked out of the club. So last night, as some of you know, because I saw some of you there, I was DJing at Kiki, and it was packed, and everyone was having a great time. Almost everyone was having a great time. A guy walked up to the DJ booth and requested Only Girl in the World. Now, those of you who've been to my DJ sets know there is a way to request songs from me, and it is not to walk up to the DJ booth. I have a sign with a QR code out that takes you to a page with all my socials, and I say, send me a message in my socials so that I can see what your request is. The reason that I do that is because I've been DJing for 7 years, 8 years now, and I know how requesting goes. I don't always have what you want. I don't always have every single song in the world. I am not Spotify. I am a DJ, and part of my job is curation. I find good remixes, good versions, as well as the album versions of a lot of the really most popular songs, recent popular songs. And I bring with me stuff that works together. That's what a good DJ is supposed to do. I don't just show up with like a Spotify library and press play, as lots of people seem to think. Because of that, sometimes when I get a request, I don't have that specific track, but usually I have something by the artist, usually something you'll probably love. So the reason that I have people send it to me in a message is because I know that a lot of requests become negotiations. I'm also not a radio DJ, so I'm not just fading from one song to another. I'm beat matching. And songs are 3.5 minutes long. I don't have a lot of time to beat match. I'm losing the first 30 seconds to a minute of a song beat matching into it, and then I immediately have to start beat matching out of it. I can't stand there at the DJ booth and have a fucking conversation. But I also enjoy getting requests played for me when I go see DJs. I am good about not bugging DJs about it, but sometimes when I go, like, I've been to Peach Pit and seen Matt Baylor, and he'll ask me what I want to hear, and I'll tell him, and he'll play it. And that's a fun experience. So I want to provide that for other people, but I want to do it in a way that lets me also continue doing my job the way it needs to be done. So anyways, Only Girl in the World is already violating my sign that I have up there. I pointed at the sign and he said, I don't have social media. It's 2022. You have social media. Don't lie. You're just a jerk. He wanted to do things his way. He didn't want to be told how to go about things the right way. But I humored him. But I didn't have Only Girl in the World. So I told him I could play something else by Rihanna. And I did. At the same time, somebody else did things the right way. They went to my Instagram, followed me, and then sent me a request for Akana Pop. And so I absolutely had that. So I was absolutely going to play that. They did things the right way. So I played Only Girl in the World's Rihanna for him. And he was lit. He had a really good time. And then I played Akana Pop. And I guess he doesn't like Icona Pop, and I guess he thinks I care that he doesn't like Icona. Because the dude came up to the DJ booth and said, I hate this song. Can you play some Beyonce or something else? And I said, yes, Beyonce's coming up. I just played Beyonce like 5 songs ago, though. This isn't just going to be Beyonce on repeat. And then I said, I am not an iPod. So then he spends the next half hour glaring at me. And even when I played Independent Women by Destiny's Child, he's still glaring at me. Meanwhile, the club is getting more and more packed, and everyone is having a really good time. And most people are scanning my QR codes, following me on social media, and making the request that way, the way they're supposed to do it. Meanwhile, Only Girl in the World is getting more and more sour-faced. And so I'm just trying to avoid looking at him, except he is in the center of the riser on the dance floor, So it's kind of hard to miss him, but I'm trying not to make eye contact with him because he is making me uncomfortable. He is not having a good time in a sea of hundreds of people having a good time. It's weird. Even Smudges thinks it's weird. Look, Smudges, don't you think that's weird? Smudges thinks that's weird. So all this time, he must have been like formulating a large diatribe in his head because finally he walks up to the DJ booth, gets his nerve up, and asks if I can play Beyonce again. Which I say, yes, Love on Top is coming up. You gotta wait. I just played Independent Woman about 20 minutes ago, so give me a minute before I play more Beyonce. And then he asks if I can play, I forget who, but I had that as well. And I was like, yes, that's also coming up. And then he asked if I could play Sierra. And I said, yes, I have Sierra, and I do plan on playing some Sierra later. And then, so he can't take yes for an answer. He's like, he's like, you need to get this place more live. And I'm like, I don't know, it's pretty live right now. He's like, you got to get the club jumping. And there's literally like two twinks like 5 feet away, literally jumping to what I'm playing, literally jumping up and down, literally jumping while he's saying, you got to get the club jumping. Literally, they're jumping right behind him, literally jumping when he says that. I'm not getting the club jumping. So at this point, I am pretty tired of him. And I say, okay, well, I'm going to be playing Love on Top soon, so thank you. And he says, you could do a better job or something like that. I'm like, excuse me? And he's like, well, it's one thing you're just, people come to the club, they want to have a good time. I'm like, it really looks to me like everyone's having a good time. Literally, people are screaming the lyrics, not just a couple people. Like hundreds of people are just screaming the lyrics to whatever the Gaga song I was playing or whatever. And he said, yeah, it's one thing to just like know the lyrics to the song, but it's another thing like to get it lit. You got to get it lit. And I'm like, he's like, you're not getting it lit. I'm like, you're right. Sorry. I guess I just can't get it lit. So I'm going to play your song soon so you can leave now. And he then presses into the DJ booth, enters the DJ booth with me. This is a no-no. If the DJ does not invite you into the DJ booth, you stay out. And when the DJ is done talking to you, you leave. It's not because I'm a haughty jerk. I have fucking work to do. These songs are 3.5 minutes long, might I remind you. And you are drunk and slurring, so it takes you 3.5 minutes to get a sentence out. So I need you to leave my DJ booth so I can do my job. Period. He presses into the DJ booth and is trying to give me advice on how to DJ. I have been DJing in bars successfully, regularly, at least once a week, except for the first few months of the pandemic, since 2014. Okay? I'm not the world's greatest DJ. I don't pretend to be, but I know how to do my job. And some drunk 22-year-old who is the only sour face in the entire club really has nothing to tell me about how to do my job. Sorry. Read the room. Check yourself. You are misreading literally everything going on around you. Tell him he has to get out of the DJ booth. You need to leave the DJ booth. He says, I'm just trying to help you. I'm like, help me what? You can help me by leaving the DJ booth. But you could get this crowd really lit. I'm like, they seem to be having a really fucking good time. There is room to move on the dance floor. Like, and everybody is dancing and singing. Everyone has a smile on their face, but you. Third time, you need to leave the DJ booth. I, I just, it's not about just like playing music that people know. Thank you. You need to leave the DJ booth. I know you're getting upset. I can tell you're getting upset. You need to get the fuck out of my DJ booth right now. And then I grabbed my phone and immediately started texting the manager. And he's like, "You don't have to get like that." I'm like, "You need to leave the DJ booth. I am texting the manager and I'm waving at security. Security's not looking." But that's okay. It was a busy night, I understand. I could not get security's attention. I need to find a way. I need like a bell or something so I can get security's attention for next time. Anyway, so he walks away. It takes a while for the manager to see my text, and finally he comes over, and then he sends a security guard over to talk to me. And uh, by then I can't find the guy, and the security guy's like scanning the crowd. Finally, he sees the guy, and he um, goes and talks to the guy, and the guy said, "I wasn't getting aggressive." I never said he got aggressive. He wasn't, I mean, it was a little aggressive, but that it was more relentless, stubborn, and obnoxious, and just really flagrantly not what you do. Just not what you, that's not what you do. You don't go into the DJ booth without the DJ like saying, "Hey, come into the DJ booth." One, it's a tiny fucking DJ booth at Kiki. It's the smallest DJ booth I think I've ever been in. No, Trades is a little smaller, just slightly. And so there's not room for two people in there. There just isn't. Especially when two people when one person needs both his fucking arms to do his job. Um, and like you don't do that. But then when the DJ says, "Okay, time to go," you leave. I shouldn't have to tell you 5 times to leave and then have to get loud. I had to get loud with him and very sweary. And I didn't want to have to do that, but only girl in the world just did not understand what was happening. So security like talked to him, sent him downstairs, and said, "Why don't you chill out downstairs?" But that was not enough for him. And he wanted to come back upstairs. And that's when the manager caught him. Uh, and he said he was done chilling out, I guess. He had had his chill pill. Only girl in the world was fine. He was back to normal, according to him. But the manager said, "No, we need you to cool off down here." And he wasn't having it. So, only girl in the world was the only girl in the world that got thrown out of the bar last night. So, if you don't enjoy getting thrown out of the bar, the club, if you want to continue having your own little party, I mean, if you don't enjoy the music, that's fine, whatever. Like, there were a lot, I mean, the bar was packed. Some people are going to dislike some of the music that I play. That's science. That is science. I am not going to make everyone happy constantly 100% of the time. That's not how it works. That's not my goal. Let me give you a little secret. Let me tell you a little trick of the trade. My job as the DJ is to make sure the largest number of people possible want to stay there and continue giving the bar their money. I know. It is mind blowing, isn't it? Mind blowing. Wow. My job is to keep as many people in the room as possible, not be one sour faced dude's personal iPod. Everybody else was having a great time and enjoying my music selection. So I'm going to keep playing that music because those people are then, because they're having a good time, going up to the bartenders and handing them money. That's my job, is to make sure people continue to stay there, want to be there, and continue to hand the bartender their money. There's never going to be a way for me to get every single individual to want to stay there and continue handing the bartenders their money. I have to calculate the songs that are having the most impact on that particular crowd's vibe and cater to that and keep the largest number of people there happy. In general, it's not an individual bespoke artisanal experience. It's mass, right? And like one person's gonna 10% like the song I'm playing, and one person's going to 130% like the song I'm playing. And then the next song it's gonna switch. But the goal is to read the vibe, read the room, and keep the largest concentration of people happy, dancing, and giving the bartenders their money. So no, Only Girl in the World had nothing to teach me about DJing. Because guess what? After Only Girl in the World was kicked out, the club continued to be full. Well past last call. And the staff was kicking people out at the end. Not kick, but like, bye, time to go. You need to go, not right now. Why was everyone there past when the lights went on? Because I was picking music based on the vibe of the crowd, not the vibe of Only Girl in the World, sour face in the corner. The squeaky wheel doesn't get the grease at the club. Let me tell you. That might work at your salon, at the fucking, CVS. When I've got to make the whole crowd stay all night, your squeaky wheel doesn't mean shit to me. It was a great night. Everybody else had a great time. People were screaming. Voguing broke out the entire last 12 minutes, 15 minutes was a crowd of people gathered around a bunch of really, really good voguers. It was amazing. I'm really into voguing right now. It was a great time. The only person that wasn't having fun was Only Girl in the World. But that's fine, because he got to go not have fun out on U Street outside of the bar. Bye. Bye. Nobody missed ya. Nobody was sad you left. So, moral of the story is, don't fucking hassle the DJ. Because you will find yourself finding a new place to go to. And you know what? It's probably better for him, because he wasn't liking the music I was playing. So go find, there's like 12 bars around there. Go find a bar with a DJ that is playing the music you're playing. Or go home and stick your iPod in your ears and play the music that you want to hear. You clearly weren't there to hang out with anyone since you were standing at center stage, all sour faced. Uh, so just go home. Go home, get shit faced alone, and listen to your sad SoundCloud music or whatever. Uh, don't come into the DJ booth unless the DJ asks you to, especially when the DJ booth is that small. And certainly, certainly, certainly do not stay in the DJ booth when the DJ says it's time for you to go. You'll be gone, not from the DJ booth, but from the club. And it's real easy to make requests with me. Just fucking follow me on social, any social, Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram. I have my phone up there, and when I have a longer song, when I can actually take a break and look at my phone, then I can respond to you, add it to my queue, maybe respond back and say, I don't have that particular track, but can I play a different artist by you? My interactions with people on the social are so much smoother and better than when people drunkenly try and negotiate at the booth when I can barely hear them, when they are not situationally aware of the fact that I am trying to do my job. Um, no, just go about it the right way. And then everyone can have a better time. Don't be insistent to do things your way because your way is not necessarily the best way. It certainly wasn't the best way for that guy. And that's why he ended up with his ass back on U Street on the outside, not allowed back in last night. Don't be only girl in the world. Be cool. Be chill. Hope you enjoyed the story.